morning, guys. Today is Sunday. I had already filmed this video, I think Thursday, but I was not happy with the results of it. I was kind of flustered, and it was also a really short video. So, like I said, I tried to make this video on Thursday, and I made it, and it was super short, and I caught myself halfway through the video just saying, constantly, and it drives me crazy. So I'm gonna try not to do it this time, and this time I actually so these are my notes from my itty bitty notebook that I have that I'll show you guys real quick. So I think I started to go over this in 2 of my videos, but I don't think I fully explained it to you guys. So this is my notebook that I got in BMT. I wrote my notes super duper tiny on like several pages. This is all my notes from BMT, guys, so it's ridiculous. And then the last week of BMT or so, since we weren't doing much, I transferred all my notes into the important things that I need to talk about. And now I've gone back this morning and I've highlighted the stuff that I actually want to touch on. So basically I want to do weeks 1 and 2 together. 2 has a lot more in it than 1 does. But I don't want to just like give a 10-minute video, you know? I don't know. I'm weird like that. So let's get into it. So I tried to say this in the last video I filmed, but there are several videos that I'm going to make outside of the what happened in this week kind of videos. So like I want to do a video on what we did on Sundays, because Sundays were pretty much the same all throughout BMT. I want to do a video on PT. I want to do a video on what happened to me medically while I was at BMT. So there's a lot of videos that I have yet to make, unfortunately, that I don't want to go into detail in the training videos just because there's more important information to get out there, and there's a lot of repeats. So stay tuned for that. So we're gonna start off the week of trainings, begin on a Sunday, and they go through Saturday. So the 0 week was Tuesday through Saturday because we got there a few days late. Just that's how it is. And then, so the actual weeks of training starts on Sundays. So I think I said this in my 0 week video, but I was super stressed out, super homesick. I was anxious, slightly depressed. It was just a mess. So I was super nauseous anytime I needed to eat. So I ate the first week because I had to eat. So Sunday was the first day that I actually ate breakfast completely, which was super exciting. We also learned how to make our beds with hospital corners and all that fun jazz. I might do a video on that as well. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, we learned how to make beds the first week. And then one of our MTIs got COVID because I think I said this in the last one, our brother flight got COVID. So she was no longer with us for like 2 weeks, I think. Monday I got picked for Guide on Bear, which I will also do a separate video on. It's basically the person at the front of the flight who carries a staff, which is a flag basically, to help set the pace for how fast the flight marches. That was Monday. Tuesday we had our first medical appointment. We got our eyes checked if you needed to, and you got like your prescription set for the issued glasses. For those of us who didn't have to do that, we just waited around for our dental x-rays. Everyone got dental x-rays done. Then after we were done that, we had our immunizations. I had to get 3 out of 4 immunizations. It was based on the blood work that you did in 0 week. And then we also had to get the peanut butter shot, which is the penicillin shot. I cried and I was shaking for the first 30 minutes after or so, but I was just super stressed out. I don't like shots that much, and I just stressed myself out over it because I know some people can be allergic to it. So I just got inside my head. It's not it's bad, but it's not terrible. It's not, you can do it. Like, it's a rite of passage, I guess. You gotta do what you gotta do, you know? But don't stress yourself out over it. Females were also given prenatal vitamins because we can have lower iron, and that's not good, especially in the environment that we're in. So they give us prenatal vitamins, which are high in iron for us to take. I didn't have to take them. My iron was pretty good, and I couldn't swallow them because I'm really bad at swallowing pills, and those were huge. So I didn't take them. Two of the girls who left the first week who had symptoms but did not test positive, they came back that day. And then during PT, we also did Russian twists, which is when I started my medical problems. But again, that'll be a separate video. So then the next day was Wednesday. I had a medical appointment, and again, we'll go into that in a different video. That was pretty much the entire day for me. Thursday, we had a weapons class in the morning. Everyone did their initial PT test, which was not me, but everyone else did their initial PT test. It just sees where you are and whether or not you need to do remedial PT to get your scores up. I think you had to do 9, for females under 30, you had to do 9 sit-ups, 5 push-ups, and a maximum of a 21-minute and 35-second run time, which is not that bad. I forget what you need to get it down to, but it's a starting point. You want to get over that, but that's the requirement for the first week. We also got our first 5-minute phone call that night. And then I also got my first letter. And then we also did linen exchange, and linen exchange happens every Thursday, but I'll probably go into that once I do the RLA video, which is recruit living area video. Same with making the beds. And then let's see what else. Friday we practiced drill. We did left and right flanks, which is basically when you're going straight, everyone's marching straight forward, and if you call left flank, then everyone's suddenly marching left. It's really cool. We also practiced class for one of our MTIs who was training. He now has his own flight, which is really cool. But we were his practice flight basically, and so he had to teach us things that we already learned. So I think that time we learned just left and right faces, which we already knew how to do. He just had to teach it to us a certain way by the book to help him get his certification, I guess. And then anyone who needed glasses got their issued glasses passed out. We also had a fire drill. You do fire drills, gas drills, and you can also do bomb drills. We never did a bomb drill, but it's an option that can happen. We also did weapons disassembly, which was basically taking apart the weapon and putting it back together again. That's one of the requirements that you have to do to graduate. It's not timed, but I'll get into that in a separate video as well. And then Saturday we also did more of the weapons stuff and just study time. There's a lot of study time in BMT. You get a big study guide, which I'll show you real quick. I forgot to show it in the BMT haul. So in the backpack that you get, you are going to get issued a financial planner. We never use this. I think it's just required for them to give you. And then we also got our BMT study guide, thick book, and it has everything inside it that you need to study for your end of course exam, which you'll take, I think, in 6th week, I believe. But it has like a bunch of review questions at the end of each chapter and teaches you normal stuff like how to do certain PT exercises to, like, I don't know, what else? Self-defense and like law of war. Just, it's stuff that you need to know. Get a big book. So that's that. You have plenty of time to study for that. So that was week 1. Now week 2 was a little bit busier. Things started finally picking up. We did our RLA and weapons disassembly on Sunday, again, I'll go into that more later, we also instilled a thing we called vow of silence, because people during study time weren't necessarily studying or they were being too loud. We did the vow of silence. So one of the element leaders of the dorm chief would be like, okay, vow of silence, we're gonna be quiet for 15 minutes, and everyone would just not talk for 15 minutes. It was really nice. Thankfully, people actually respected it. Another thing to note is the national anthem plays at least at basic training at 5 p.m. every day, in which case you have to come to attention and you have to salute when the anthem plays. For us here, it plays at 5 o'clock every day. So it's just dependent on your base, I guess. Monday we had class. We also worked on weapons stances. So like we would take our weapons out and there was this like T thing, and we would practice like how to hold the weapon when we were on the ground, how to hold the weapon when we were standing, and that kind of stuff, which you use in Beast for Academ. We also had our girls who tested positive for COVID. They came back on Monday. On Tuesday, we got a new MTI. It's weird because, you know, he did his job well, we'll put it that way. We also got tested for COVID for a second time that day, and we had our first gas drill. And we got letters that night. Letters were really weird because of COVID. I think they were several weeks behind. I'm still getting letters from BMT now that they've had to forward to me. I don't know if it's because of COVID or if it's because of, like, that's just how it is. But just be prepared for that. Wednesday, we had class all morning. We had a patio break briefing, which you're supposed to get a patio break in your third week, I believe. It's a requirement. We had a mini RLA inspection. So basically, our instructor supervisor came around and was like grading our areas to see if everything was where it was supposed to be. The only thing I had wrong is that my binder was in the wrong place because I accidentally bumped it. Our hair regulations were supposed to change in 4 days at that point, which I will get into in a separate video, but basically, thankfully, while I was in BMT, they changed the hair regulations where our hair no longer had to be up in buns. We could wear it in some different ways as well. Okay, so we took the COVID testing on Tuesday, and then Wednesday we found out that one of our girls had tested positive again. So she came back, got her stuff, and she left. And then on Thursday, we had some girls have to go to do KP duty, which is basically they go to the DFAC and they help out there. And then the rest of us had to go over to the PRC. Again, I'm not sure what that stands for, but it's a building where you get dropped off. And we had to basically just help out with whatever. We got to watch a graduation ceremony that day, and we just helped out. Like things that I did, I helped bring in the flags after the ceremony, and I counted a bunch of boxes. We did inventory basically of everything that they had there. That night we got our first patio break. Well, we split the flight into 2 parts. I got my patio break that night basically. I got to drink a Snapple from the vending machines. The snack vending machines did not work for us. So then Friday I had to go to the health clinic for a BAS appointment, which again, I'll get into that in a separate video, but that's what happened that day. We got a tour of CQ, which is our charge of quarters. It's basically like where everything happens, like administratively in our squadron. So we got a tour of that, saw where everything was. And then we did in processing over at the PRC, we just did a bunch of paperwork. If you are active duty, that's when you get your CAC card. Myself being guard, I already had my CAC going in. And then we also did a run through of the coin ceremony for graduation. And then Saturday, we did front 5 practice, which is graduation practice for the 4 element leaders as well as the guidon bearer, because they have roles in the graduation ceremony that they need to do to make it look nice and smooth. And then we also went over rules and regulations for the mini mall, and then after lunch we got to go to the mini mall for the first time. Our MTIs made us bring all of our stuff back and dump it out in the day room, so that way they could go over it and make sure that we didn't get anything that we were not supposed to, and then we put any extras of anything that we had back in our civilian luggage. So that was weeks 1 and 2 of training. Thank you guys for watching. I know it was a longer video, but I just want to get the information out to you guys. If you guys have any questions, go ahead, put it in the comments down below, and hopefully I will have another video coming out for you guys this week. Not sure if I'm going to do 2 videos this week or just 1, but I'm planning on doing something other than just the weeks of training. I want to do probably what I should have packed for BMT and what I should not have packed. So stay tuned for that video. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you're interested in doing that, and then hit the notification button if you'd like to stay up to date with when I do have new videos coming out. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.